this next row, we're going to learn how to get our antennas. So you want to grab your antenna yarn, which is going to be this color for me. And again, I'm going to make my loop the same way, folding my yarn just a little bit at the end to create the loop, which I'm going to pull in through my color. Pull your other color down, and then chain 1 and turn. Again, you want to single crochet in the first 5 stitches of the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now it says you want to make wait, I'm trying to look at the right. Okay, so get it facing you this direction because it's going to be easier for you to work with. Find your 2 top wings, find your 2 bottom wings, and if you just fold them in half to touch each other, it's going to be a lot easier to see what you're doing, and it's going to look a lot better when you get done. Okay, so in order to do the triple crochet, again, you want to find the stitch that you'll be using. You'll yarn over twice because it's a triple crochet, and then go into that post using the post. Work on the post of that double crochet, and then work your triple crochet. Then once you got your triple crochet made, you can let go of your stitch real quick, and you can see that your butterfly's wings are on either side of it. And then let's see, chain 5, skip 2, work 1 slip stitch at each of the next chain. Oh, okay, so this one is making the actual antennas that go on the side. So they want you to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on this chain of 5 that you just did, you'll skip the first 2 chains, 1, 2, and in this third stitch, you want to slip stitch, and you want to slip stitch in the next 2 as well. So you'll be slip stitching in these bottom 3 here. So skip the first 2 chains and slip stitch in the next 3 chains. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then go ahead and slip stitch on this main area here. I think it makes it look a lot better. Then chain 5 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then repeat what you did before. You skip the first 2 chains and then slip stitch in the next 3 chains. 1, 2, and 3. And again, I like to slip stitch right back onto that main part again. Whoa. And then if you want to look back now, you can see, you can adjust your butterfly and everything, and you can see he has his 2 little antennas sticking out there. Okay, so we just want to continue down the row now. You can fold your wing out of your way so you can see the stitches a lot better. Once you've done that, let's see, let me scroll down the pattern here. Continue to work the row. Make 1 single crochet stitch in the next 21 stitches. So we're going to continue to work. I'm going to count backwards. I like to do that when I'm not sure which exactly the stitch I need to go in. I like to count back. We're looking for 21 stitches. So this one is clearly a stitch. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So this is the stitch I need to go in. So I'm going to start by single crocheting in that stitch, and then I'm going to continue to to single crochet down until I have my 21 stitches. So continue down the row and I'll see you back here in a moment. Okay, I've reached back up to, I've got my 21 stitches, reached back up to my butterfly here. So again, you want to triple crochet. So I'm going to yarn over twice. I'm going to get my butterfly and I'm going to fold it in half so that when I crochet, I'm crocheting between the wings. And I'm going to find that double crochet where the butterfly is attached. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's better to see that it's the 6th one there. Okay, so I'm going to do a single crochet. I mean triple crochet. 1, 2, and 3. And then you want to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, skip the first 2. Slip stitch in the following 3. 1, 2, 3. Then I like to slip stitch here at the top. Then chain 5 again. 3, 4, 5. Skip 2, single crochet, and then slip stitch in the next 3 chains. And then again, I like to slip stitch here at the top of the beginning triple crochet. And then you can fold your wing again, and you want to single crochet in the next 21 stitches, or if you're at the end of your row like me, single crochet in the last 5 stitches. So you'll just keep repeating that for the row, and you can adjust your butterflies at the end of the row. And so far that is our first set of butterflies made, and I know that's upside down. There. Okay, so now since we've reached the end of this row, we're done with this color. So I'm going to cut it, and we're going to be switching back to the main color again, because if you remember, between every butterfly, before and after, you have the single crochet, double crochet row, then 2 rows of single crochets, and then the double crochet row in between each one. So I'm going to begin my switching of my color same way. Then you want to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then working in the very next stitch. Let me just double check here. Yes, make a chain of 3, skip the first stitch of the row, because this chain 3 is going to count as your first stitch. So skip this first stitch and go into your second, and then you will do your first 3 stitches. Wait, they do want you to do triple crochet in the next 3 single crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you want to do 2 double crochets in the next stitch. So it's this stitch that's basically here, and let me get a little closer here so you can see. So if you can see, this is like the triple crochet here that we did, and then there's the row again. Put 2 single crochets here in that same space, and that triple crochet in the center of the, that we did this part here. So I'm putting 2 there, and then I'm going to work 1 double crochet in the next 20 stitches, basically until we get up to that same stitch again. And then you'll put again 2 double crochets in that same stitch. No, now I'm way too close. So go ahead and work, after you've done your double here, work double crochet in the next 20 stitches. Okay, I've done 20 stitches now, and again I'm going to be working my 2 double crochets on that back post double crochet that we did here into the top of it. And then in the last 5 stitches, or if you're doing what if you're still continuing with your blanket, then again do it in the next 20 stitches after that and repeat. And then when you get to the end, single crochet, double crochet in the last 5 stitches of the row to end the row. And then when you get to the end of the row, which is at this point it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was row 7. So for rows 8 and 9, you're just going to chain 1 and turn and put single crochet in the first stitch and then in each stitch down the row. So for the next 2 rows, you're just going to be putting 1 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so at the end of row 8, don't forget to single crochet in that top of the chain 3 before chaining 1 and starting row 9. At the end of row 9, you'll chain 3, then turn. You'll skip this first stitch because this chain 3 counts as the stitch there, and you'll work a double crochet in your second stitch of the row, and then you'll work 1 double crochet down your row. Okay, so I just finished my row 10. Got my double crochets here, my 4 rows that I needed for my base in between my butterflies. And since I used the yellow for the wings this time, I want to use my darker color. I can find the right side here. Okay. So I'm going to switch my colors again. Chain 1 and turn. Okay, so for row 11, you're going to be working 1 single crochet in the next 16 stitches. So you'll go into the very first stitch, make your single crochet, and then keep going down the row. Need a total of 16 stitches. Okay, once you've got your first 16 stitches done, you're ready to make your butterfly again. We're going to make them the exact same way. You want to slip stitch in the back loop only, and then chain 7 or chain 5, whichever you prefer. And then you're going to work 4 triple crochets into that stitch, that back loop, just like you did before. 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to slip stitch in the front loop of that same stitch. And then chain 5 again. I'm doing this by memory, so just want to make sure. Then chain 5 again. 3, 4, 5. Then you'll triple crochet twice. Remember, each of the butterfly wings at the bottom will have 2 triple crochets and a double crochet. On the right first one, you'll do 2 triple crochets, then the double crochet, and then you'll chain 3 and slip stitch to end that wing. Then to begin your next wing, you will chain 3, begin with your double crochet, and then you'll do your 2 triple crochets worked, which will make up the second wing here. And then you'll chain 3. No, this time you'll chain 5. Yeah, chain 5 after the end of the second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then slip stitch to end that wing. And then chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the top wings are made up of 4 triple crochets. So we're going to work our 4 triple crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this is where you'll chain 7 or you'll chain 5, however much you prefer, and then slip stitch to end your butterfly. And then again, I move everything back up and fold my wing down so that I can see my very next stitch here that's unworked. It can be hard to get under both loops, so I always come in with my hook to get under both of those and do a single crochet. I'm going to tighten up my stitch a bit more there. There we go. And you're going to want a single crochet. I think it's 15 now. Let me get back down to that part of the pattern on row 11. Yep, it says I want you to do 15 in between each one, so I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oops, that's where I'm at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, fighting with my yarn here, 14, and 15. It says that when you first begin your row, it's 16. So in between each will be 15, and then the 16th stitch you'll be using to make your butterfly until you reach the end of your row. And then the 16th stitch, which in this case is the chain 3 at the end, you'll just do a double crochet in that. So during the middle of all your butterflies in the actual row itself, you will do a single crochet of 15, then do your butterfly, and then repeat that for the row. And when you get to the end, you'll actually single crochet 15, and then on the top of your chain 3 you'll put your single crochet. So the end is 16 stitches, and at the beginning of the row is 16 stitches. And then when you get to the end of your row, again you will cut your yarn because you're going to be making your antenna. And this time I'm going to be using my yellow. Connect it the same way. And then for row 12, you want to chain 1 and turn, work a single crochet in the next 16 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, okay. Single crochet in the first 16, and then again you're going to be making your antenna. So split your wings like before. The 2 big wings, 2 small wings, fold them in half like this again so that you can see, because you'll need to work in between 2 sets of wings here. And it's a triple crochet, so you want to double wrap and then go under your butterfly here, pull up to see where it's connected. There. So hard to see. Sometimes you're going to have to change your direction here. I'm going to go into what I think is the center in between the wings, so it's hard to see at this time. This one actually. Then once you get on the right post here, then it's easy enough to do the triple crochet. Then after that, you'll chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip the first 2, slip stitch in the next 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I like to slip stitch in the stitch of the triple crochet. Then chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 4, 5, and then again skip the first 2 and slip stitch and the next 3 chains, and onto the triple crochet. And then you can fold your wing down, find your next stitch here, and single crochet. And you can continue. It says single crochet. This is row 12. Make single crochet in each of the next 21 stitches. So that's 1, then 2. So for me, it's probably going to be 1 extra. Make a, no, 21 is at, yeah, 21. From now on, you'll be doing 21. So in between the, from butterfly to butterfly, there should be 21 stitches. But from the very beginning to the first butterfly is 16 stitches. And from the last butterfly of the row to the very end of your row, there'll be 16 stitches. So for me, it's going to be 16 and 16 because I didn't make it a full blanket. But for you, if you're making a full blanket, it'll be 21, then you do your next butterfly, 21, then you do your next butterfly, until you get to the last butterfly of your row, and then you will again have 16 stitches from your last butterfly to the end. Okay, and when you get to the end of your row, you will cut your yarn and go back to your main color that you're using, which for me is white. Then for row 13, you're going to chain 3 and turn. Again, you'll be skipping that very first chain, very first single crochet, because the chain 3 will count as the first stitch, and double crochet in the second stitch. Then they say they want you to do double crochet in the first 14 stitches. So chain 3, work your first double crochet in the second stitch, so that's going to be 1, 2, this will be 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry if you can hear that noise in the background. It's the wind is crazy today. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. After the 14th, you're again wanting to do doing 2 double crochets worked in the next stitch, which this time it's not even in this back place. So I just make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yep. So it just didn't happen to fall in the back here. So at the in between now, you should have 20 single crochets, double crochets. No double crochets. Yeah. And then at the end, it is 16 stitches. So let me just count back now from 16. Let's see where it puts me. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I do have 16 stitches left. So my this stitch here, that is the actual antenna stitch, the triple crochet here. You just skip it. So I'm going to skip that one and go to the next. So in between the butterflies of this row, you should have 20 stitches from butterfly to butterfly, and then when you get to the end of the row and as the beginning of the row, you'll have 16 stitches. Okay, so after you finish your double crochet row, you're basically here again, the very first row. So now the repeat starts. You'll be doing your next 2 rows of single crochet, and then another row of double crochets, and then you're going to start to repeat just like I did here for row 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th row, when you start your butterflies again. And then you just repeat what you see in the video over and over again. And again, the link to the pattern is down below. And I wanted to show you this. You can use a border, I mean any border that you want. I do recommend that you have a border though, and for me I just used like the 2 colors that I used from a butterfly, and I used it going all the way around. So I did my very first row of with this color, and I went all the way around, and I wrote down, just a second, so I wrote down when you're going down the side stitches of your border, every double crochet counts as 2 stitches. So I would put 2 double crochets in every double crochet spot, and then every row that was a single crochet, I would just put 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet. Then I get to the double crochet again, I'd put 2 single crochets in there. And this is how I worked my side stitches all the way around. And when I would get to the corner, my first row, I worked 4 single crochets in to make the corner. So basically I worked 2 single crochets on the double crochet, and then on this side of it I worked in the top of the chain, and then in this next stitch here I fit 2 stitches along this side and 2 stitches along this side, and then I continued that all the way around. This bottom, that is just 1 stitch on basically you're just working on the bottom stitches of your double crochet. I just put 1 single crochet in each stitch. The same for the top. Since it's 1 stitch here, I just did 1 stitch. But the side stitches, you definitely want to work 2 in every double crochet row and 1 single crochet in each single crochet row. And do your corners, just like I said, do the 4 stitches on the corner. Then you're going to have kind of like more of a corner space here. You'll have more of a corner space after you've worked your single crochets here, and it'll be a lot easier. It says on my 2nd row border, I did 2 single crochets on both corners. So I only did, let me just make sure. So on this one, it looks like I did 2 in this stitch and 2 in this stitch. So I say 2 on each corner, but again, it looks like I did 4. So when I came around, there was 2 single crochets here that I did. I worked it. You just want to make sure that this corner is even. So if you need to do more or less and it lays flat, then that's fine. But you definitely want to try to double up on the corners. And you, like I said, you can use any border that you want. That was just a quick border. I didn't want to do anything fancy. And that's it. That was how I made this little Afghan piece. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and you could follow along easily. Like I said, you can find the link below where you can find the pattern with pictures. And that's it. Please don't forget to like and share, and please comment if you did like this video and let me know. You can find all the places where I am on social media and follow me there. My Facebook group and everything is down there. So I hope that you can join us there too. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching.